Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to a brand new match preview. And we are previewing Wolves' final home game of the season against Norwich City. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts ahead of this game. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Loads of content over the next few weeks or so. Podcasts, other match reviews, reactions, and loads of summer content coming out very, very soon. And Wolves now will be hoping to try, if we can, and end this season on a high, because as it stands, it's gone sour quite sharpish, and I don't think the club and the management will want to end the season on a disappointing note. And we've got to say, for me, it was last night, but that game against Manchester City was disastrous. And I'm still sort of trying to process what actually happened. Obviously, they beat us 5-1. There were some elements of our game that were really good, some that were fairly disappointing. But of course, I did a full match reaction. We did the fans react as well, so you can go and check that out as well. We obviously have our BetMate game once again, so big up to the guys over at BetMate. I've got to say the support on the Man City game was amazing. We had some big winners. I actually won a little bit of cash off it as well, which was great. But our pop for the Norwich game is now live. A link in the top of the description. We're up against the Talk Norwich City fan channel. So I'm hoping a Wolves fan and a Talking Wolves fan will win that so we get bragging rights for this weekend. This is my team on the screen now. I have gone fairly Wolves heavy. Of course, you could change your team right up until kickoff. So if Wolves do make any changes, I obviously will change my team to reflect that as well. And I said on the last video, you can use a refer a mate. If you download the app, you click refer a mate, put in my username, Dave as a party, and the next time you put a fiver into the game, you'll receive another free £5 bet. So moving on to the game against Norwich. Of course, unfortunately, they are already relegated, and sometimes even when a team gets relegated, it's like there's no pressure. They can go into games. Sometimes see better performances, but you look at Norwich and it's not really working like that. I'm going to very quickly get up their recent results. I know this week they lost out 3-0 away at Leicester City, who, Leicester haven't been the best this season themselves. West Ham smashed them 4-0. Villa beat them 2-0. Newcastle beat them 3-0. So the last four results haven't been great for Norwich. They've conceded, quick maths, 12 goals, 0 goals scored. So they're not in a good place right now. They've got 2 games left to play. They've got us this weekend, and then they play Spurs the final weekend of the season. You'd be hoping from a Wolves point of view that we've got to get a positive result here. And I'm not saying it's a given, because it never is with Wolves, is it? And we've played Norwich twice, of course. We've played them in the league, and we've played them in the FA Cup, and we haven't beaten them in both games. We've got the 0-0 draw earlier in the season. I think it was Dean Smith's first game, or at least one of his very early games, if I remember correctly. And then I think it was his second game, actually. And obviously in the FA Cup, where I was really hoping we'd get a win. It was, no disrespect to Norwich, I felt it was a winnable tie, and we were very poor in that game as well. So this, I'm hoping that we can at least, get a win. And I think it's a chance now for Wolves to experiment a little bit. Not had the pre-match press conference as of yet, but you would assume the team will be fairly similar. Or the players available will be fairly similar. But I really hope we see Bruno, obviously if he's there. I really hope we see Bruno experiment for this game. We saw a back four for a fair chunk of that City game. I know a lot of people actually commented on my video and tweeted me saying we played back five the whole game. We didn't. If you watch from about once City scored the third goal up until maybe 10-20 minutes into the second half, Chiquinho played a lot further up, and he was playing basically as a right winger in a 4-3-3. So I would like us to see, let's go with that. If Bruno Lage wants to play with a back four next season, let's play with a back four this game. Maybe revert back to the back five for the Liverpool game, fair enough. But for this game, we've really got to be going for it. I think a back four would make sense. I really want to see Fabio Silva get another shot, because I thought it was unfair that he didn't come on against City. And we've seen, there's a number of players there. Totti Gomez, I think, it would be great to see him back in and around the team. We sort of half expected him to play against Manchester City, but with the slight change in system, That obviously didn't happen. So I'm hoping this game he definitely deserves another shot, at least off the bench if he doesn't start the game. Predicted lineup is so hard to say. So I'll go with a lineup that I would like to see. And as you can see, it's Jose Sarr in goal. A left wing back of Ryan Aït-Nouri. Right wing... Well, let's go left back of Ryan Aït-Nouri. Right back of Johnny. Let's go Totti Gomez and Cody. I don't know. Like I said, this is a team I'd like to see. In midfield, three once again of Dendoncker, Neves and Moutinho. And a front three of Pedro Neto, Fabio Silva and Chiquinho. And look, that's not a team that I would like to see us go into next season with. I would like some strong additions. But for this game where there's no pressure, we can't get European football now. Let's experiment. Let's give some of these players that have been patient this season, let's give them a chance in this team. And let's see how they get on. Fabio Silva, I'm hoping and praying we do see him score a Premier League goal. And I think this is a game that he can do it in. Chiquinho looks really, really lively. Had a good cameo. Neto's playing more and more minutes. Starting to get on the ball a little bit more. And we're going to see how we go. If we don't beat Norwich, and or if they beat us, you look at our form, folks. Loss against City, draw against Chelsea, loss against Brighton, loss against Burnley, loss against Newcastle. Prior to that, obviously we beat Villa, but loss against Leeds United as well. The form since mid-March has been questionable, and there's people talking about the management situation. I would love to see Bruno Lage backed properly in the summer, but I think he still needs to make sure he gets a positive result here, just to silence those doubters. Because I think if he goes into the summer with another 2 losses there could be a couple of question marks over what happens to him. But we do have the Norwich perspective now. We've got the thoughts here of Jacob from the Canary Cast, and these are his thoughts ahead of the game. I do believe he recorded this ahead of that Leicester game, but here are his thoughts ahead of this weekend's game at Molineux.
Hi everybody, Jacob here from Canary Cast. Absolute pleasure to be asked on to the Talking Wolves channel by Dave. Much appreciated, mate. It's going to be a bit of a difficult one to kind of talk over Norwich's season, really, because it's been a very, very long one. Remember, obviously, when we played each other back last year in the 0-0 game, which was actually quite a good one. Norwich were very competitive under Smith in the early days after the Southampton win. We really probably should have beaten you in that kind of reverse leg. It's a disappointing one, really, that we didn't kind of get the 3 points. We looked like we were a lot more competitive. Jose Sarr pulled off a couple of really good saves in the game, and quite disappointed with Wolves and how they kind of left the handbrake on. Then obviously we knocked you out of the FA Cup, which to be fair was a lot weaker Wolves side. But again, Norwich being quite competitive against you this season, which to be honest is a very, very rare amount of teams we could say that they've played well twice against a Premier League opposition this season. In a long old season, the first 10 games, obviously only getting 5 points. Backing our long-term manager, Daniel Farker, after four seasons. Kind of out of the blue after beating Brentford, but it was time. Dean Smith came in, win against Southampton, draw against yourselves, and a couple of other results, which made us think, hello, we're looking a lot more competitive here. Can we go and really kick on? Then in February, we just after beating yourselves in the FA Cup, we went and beat Watford. And looked like, okay, we're out of the relegation zone. Can we really try and kick on now? Unfortunately, our sporting director, Stuart Webber, was climbing a hill in January. Really is that true? Climbing a mountain, get ready for Kilimanjaro. It's a bit of a kind of backwash of frustration from a couple of years ago as well, when we weren't competitive in the league. And then again, with fans coming back, obviously we won the league last season, but with fans not being there, we've watched back-to-back awful campaigns in the Premier League, and things are starting to come to a head now, really, with kind of the powers that be at Norwich and the fans. It's frustration to keep being that yo-yo club. Yes, it's nice to win the championship, but as you guys know, it can be quite easy to get stuck in that division as well, and sometimes even drop out of it. But yeah, it's been a frustrating season. Signings haven't worked. Just the whole style of players haven't worked, and again, we've been outpowered, outmaneuvered in that midfield area where we're really, really weak. Billy Gilmore's loan hasn't worked. There's been other players coming in and out of there, just don't have the physicality, and they don't have the ability like a Moutinho or Neves that can kind of almost forgive that kind of pure power. They don't have that technical ability to be able to outwork a midfield technically. So yeah, and physically we're just not really good enough. Really, the atmosphere, like I say, is poor, and I would say if I would put any money on a team to win this weekend, it would be Wolves because Norwich are just so poor now. The season's done for us as well, obviously relegated, and the game against West Ham was absolutely dreadful. Seems like everyone really is on the beat, ready to go. The loan players playing, ready to go back. The players out of contract are kind of being slowly moved away. Some of the kind of young lads for next season are coming in playing 20, 30 minutes. You'll see John Rowe, Tony Springett as well. But yeah, they're not ready yet, but that just kind of shows you what the state of Norwich is at the moment, really. With Dean Smith is, like I say, when we're kind of competitive in the first few games. Then in February, we're kind of looking at it and going, oh, we just need a little bit more, just obviously in the January window to kind of see us through. Can we get there? Can we really kick on and get a couple of players in to give Dean some help? Then our second striker, Adam, gets injured. We were playing 4-4-2 at the time, playing well. He gets injured for the rest of the season. And just our luck, we then keep Timo Pukki nice and isolated for the rest of the season. And it's just been, loss and loss and loss. It's just been very negative. With Smith, it's a weird one. We're not really sure. Sometimes I think he's a better tactician than what Daniel Farke was, but some of the things he says in his press conferences, he's been dealt a really bad hand, to be honest. But just some of the things he says, I think Norwich fans are struggling to warm to him, to be honest. Farke was so about the inclusivity of the fans with the players and the whole kind of team togetherness. I don't think Smith has got that yet. I think the Norwich fans are thinking, right, let's give him kind of next season until that kind of winter break for the World Cup and see where we're at, because the difference between Championship and Premier League is ridiculous at the minute. And we, even if we have a poor start to the season, we should comfortably be up there just because of the strength of the squad already. It's night and day at the moment between the finances and the levels, unfortunately, for us, because we keep finding ourselves in between it. But yeah, that's the kind of the general feeling really around Norwich at the minute. I'd say for players wise, you should be looking out for. I mean, if he gets service, Timo Pukki, he will take chance if he gets them. How on earth he's got double figures this season, I really do not know, because I can't imagine many other strikers in the Premier League, to be honest, coming into this Norwich team with such a lack of service that he requires and getting double figures really is remarkable. I think he's been contributed to at least half our goals this season, which again is embarrassing from everyone else's point of view. But again, for him, his movement's sensational. And to be honest, he'll look like he can be easy to pocket simply because he just doesn't get the service. But he'll be a non-stop runner. Milo Rashica on his day, he can kind of blow hot and cold. He can be a threat, but then he does seem to kind of blow out the gas tank. And to be honest, Norwich really will be kind of Wolves' 12th man, because the amount of chances we give away just freely is ridiculous, to be honest with you. There isn't really a massive threat. Like I say, Pukki aside, it's been our problem all season. There's Josh Sargent's got 2 goals, and that was in one game against Watford. The rest have got less than 2. And I think that kind of shows where we're at the moment. There's no real attacking threat. We're quite easy to cut through. We're just quite a rubbish team at this level, which is difficult to say. But yeah, to be honest, I really wouldn't worry about it too much. I think you'll kind of, dictate the level of the game. You'll have a lot of possession. It's just not getting frustrated, really. The goal will come if Wolves are nice and calm and clinical, which I know they've had problems with at times this season. But yeah, I think you'll keep the ball comfortably and win quite a comfortable 2-0 game. Norwich are pretty much on the beach now. We won't offer much resistance. We've been poor away from home this season. And yeah, I think it'll be a much comfortable win for Wolves. The kind of players I'm looking out for Wolves is all of you. Like Neves, obviously Moutinho, absolutely sensational kind of operators at this level, especially Neves. I talked to a few Wolves fans when we were walking down to Carrow Road when we played you last, and all of you said Neves is just a different level of player, and obviously completely when he's on it, he conducts the level of play superbly. We did really well actually, and kind of trying to stop that in the reverse leg, and of course at home again in the FA Cup it was a weakened Wolves side, but again we did well to kind of restrict the chances and almost just play on the counter attack. Again, I just don't think there's a level of capability now for Norwich to do that. There's nothing to play for, so I don't think that structure is going to be there really. So a comfortable 2-0 Wolves win. And yeah, unfortunately, we'll probably see you again in a couple of years' time. But yeah, best of bad luck for the game, of course, and best of luck for the minority rest of the season. But yeah, thanks again for having me on. You can check us all on Canary Cast for good Norwich stuff and everything else in between. There'll be a lot of rants between now and the start of the new season, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks for having us on. Much appreciated. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Big thanks to Jacob. I'll make sure I leave a link to the Canary Cast in the description down below. Prediction for me, Wolves 2, Norwich nil. Fingers crossed, guys. I'm hoping that we can finish the season at Molineux on a high. I understand they're going to be doing the end of season awards after the game once the full-time whistle is gone. So if we do win, feel free to stick around. If we don't win, or we drop points, or we lose, or whatever, then understandably, I'm sure the stadium's going to be half empty for those awards. But guys, please do enjoy the weekend. I'm on a stag do, then coming straight back down to Molineux on Sunday. So I'm going to have a busy weekend. But look after yourselves, and I will see you all very, very soon.